Hello, you beautiful soul, and welcome back to Artist Mindset. I'm your host, Martina, and I will be guiding you through this episode today. Lately, I've been asking myself a question about why am I so tired? And what if it's not because I'm doing too much, but maybe it's because of all the expectations and all the pressure that I put on myself. And maybe you can relate to this because I'm pretty sure as creatives we put a lot of pressure on ourselves. Maybe a lot of you can relate. And I lately, or in the past week, I have been very much humbled by the universe. I got very, very sick and I had to spend like 4 days in bed. I couldn't do anything, like really for the first 3 days, I was just sweating in fever in my bed. I would only stand up to go to the toilet or to eat something. But I could not do anything. And it was a really good reminder from the universe to me that, first of all, the world will not stop spinning just because you stop. And it's not to say in a negative way, but to say that very often I feel like a lot of people maybe relies on me, or that I sort of feel like if I don't play my role, then other people's lives will crumble. Or like not lives, but like, for example, projects or collaborations that we agreed on and all that, everything that you sort of have to postpone because you cannot work because you are sick. It's very uncomfortable, but it's also a really good reminder that actually you can take time off and you can also schedule time to rest and see your friends and see your family. And you don't have to have the meeting as soon as possible. And even if it seems very urgent or important, I think you have to prioritize yourself first, because you only have one body in this life and only have yourself your whole life. So why wouldn't you take care of it as much as you can? So it was a really good reminder for me that actually I can just slow down and I don't have to rush. And that's probably what I wanted to talk about here today. Because if you know something about astrology, we are gonna enter the new Chinese New Year and we're gonna enter the fire horse, I think, which is supposed to be, as I understood, like a very fast year and very fruitful for many of us in terms of maybe career or personal life. So we're probably gonna have a lot of opportunities. So I think now more than ever is gonna be very important which opportunities we choose. So choose wisely, but without a pressure. Because this ties very well to the other thing that I wanted to say. Choose wisely, but why I'm saying that is not so much about, of course it's about picking opportunities that suits you the most. But for example, if there is a passion project that you really wanted to do, I think go for it. But if you're striving for greatness as an artist, as I think all of us do, I truly think that that's something that comes from within and something that comes from looking more at yourself and your inner self rather than comparing yourself to others. And that's actually something I've realized I want to do in this year more. And it's hard. Yeah, let me tell you, it is hard. And I'm sure a lot of us can relate, because I know it's not so easy to not compare yourself to others, especially when you're trying to achieve something with art. And it's amazing to get inspired by other people. But have you ever experienced this childlike joy from creating? You just let your creativity run wild and create what you want, what you feel, what does just feel right for you. And just to give you an example is, for example, I started making videos and I'm not very good at it, let's be honest, but it's always been my dream to make a short movie, like always, ever since I was little, and I never got to it. But I think why I never got to it was, on one hand, because I felt like an imposter, but on the other, I wanted it to be perfect. And it probably comes from feeling like an imposter, because I would always compare myself to the other artists or video makers or filmmakers, and feel like, wow, okay, so that's how it should be. That's like sort of the baseline, and of course, quality-wise, you want to make it good, but just because they didn't use any classical music, for example, this is like one of my dreams. Like, I really love actually classical music or jazz or more like instrumental music, and it just gives me ideas. It truly does gives me ideas when I listen to those type of music, like for scenes, in a movie or something. And that's why I think I would love to use it in my movie, but I haven't seen so often, movies that do. And when I did, it was, I think, I really like, for example, Wes Anderson's movies or Tarantino's movies. I mean, who doesn't? But it's not that, oh, I like them because they're great. Of course they are great. But I think it's two reasons. And one is, of course, that it's so unique. Their movies are so unique. But the other, more, for me, valuable reason, or how to say it, or, the feeling it gives me, is that they must have had fun creating those movies. Like, they really unleashed their inner child and just had fun. And that's what I want to experience. That's like what I want to feel when I create. And I think that's sort of the core of creating. So if you are an artist or a creative or, I don't know, a theater player or whoever you are, even though maybe you're just a creative person at home, like doing your creative hobbies, you do it for the joy, right? Because you want to enjoy it also, and because maybe you want to experience it with other people and truly share and express your inner world. And I think that's the core point of doing these things. So whoever you are and whatever you do, and I know this is gonna sound so cliche, you have to enjoy the journey, because the goal is truly one point. And once you get there, you're gonna be thinking about the next one. Or even when you're gonna be getting closer, you're gonna be thinking about the next one. And I can tell you a realization that I had the other day when I was journaling, because sort of the mindset I adopted from my family, or maybe I, feel like there is this pressure from my family to already get married and have kids and settle down and have a stable job and whatnot, which I'm totally not there yet. But then the other day I've realized, well, first of all, I'm the one thinking these thoughts and putting this pressure on myself. And it's not to say that it's not true. My family is always asking me about those. So of course it's very valid and real thing in my family. But it's also just me sort of not accepting that it's okay that I don't have kids yet, or I don't have family yet, and that it can still come. But also, and this was very interesting thing I've realized when I was journaling, is that, I've realized I've been reflecting a lot about myself and how I live and perceive the world and all that. And I've been sort of imagining this journey about how so many of my friends or siblings are sort of in the final destination of like having the kids or having the family or having husband or a stable job or whatnot. And I'm still sort of behind, on that journey. But that's actually really nice because it truly pushes me to appreciate what I still have ahead of me, because I still have all these things to experience, which they sort of already reached, right? They already have those. And I'm not there yet. So, what a blessing actually in my age to still have that journey and that sort of road or path to walk towards that. And why should I, try to rush this last part of that journey towards the same goal and not even enjoy it just to reach the same goal, just to get to the same points as my siblings or my friends? Or can I just keep enjoying it until I get there? And I think that's the mindset shift that we all need, especially as upcoming artists. And I know it's very hard. Guys, I'm still on that journey. Like, I'm not living off of my art, to be honest. I wish I could, but I'm not. And, you always have a choice. You always have a choice. So why would you choose to feel miserable by comparing yourself to other people and telling yourself over and over that, oh my God, I'm not there yet and I don't have this or I don't have that, instead of being like, you know what? I'm still experiencing this. I'm still growing. I still have so many options. I still have so many ways to grow and develop and things to experience. So why not enjoy it? Because one day we will all get there and one day we will all die. Sorry to get a bit dark, but at the end of the day, we will all reach the final destination one day, and it's just up to us how we enjoy the journey. So why not to at least try and enjoy it? And yes, I know it sucks in winter in Denmark. I know it's very hard, or in the Scandinavian countries. I did struggle already in my country, I think, with some kind of winter depression, but right now it's hitting very hard. But it's gonna be over one day soon. So keep going and keep being gentle with yourself and kind to yourself. And you're gonna get there. And don't try to assess your life right now. It's still the middle of the winter. It's not the time to make huge decisions and changes and whatnot. Like, we are getting to the final stretch of winter, so right now, more than ever, you need all the rest and the nutritions that are needed to finish this winter before the spring comes. So please don't beat yourself up over not having something or not being somewhere or not reaching destination, and try to be your own best friend because you deserve it. And I hope that this episode at least inspired you or gave you at least something. I'm really trying to improve it. So if you are listening and you have few moments to spare to write me a comment about what you think or what would you like me to talk about next, I would be really grateful. I'm also considering to bring some guests again because I've lately kind of became more curious about other people's lives and listening more to like their stories. So we'll see what happens. And I hope that you keep enjoying this podcast and that you will finish this winter in a good way. Yeah, the sun is coming back and so does your inner sun. So keep going and I will see you in the next episode of Artist Mindset. Bye.